Hello and welcome to the Voice of Iron, and on this session, we'll be reading about the UrbanMech. Description: the UrbanMech was designed for just what its name suggests, urban combat and defense, and may be classed as an ambusher. This was achieved by starting with a cheap, easily produced chassis, giving it 6 tons of Duralex armor to rival the protection found on many Battlemechs, and mounting a pair of Pitband 6000 jump jets for a jumping distance of 60 meters. The trade-off was that it could only mount the miserable Lean X60 engine, making the UrbanMech the slowest light mech in existence, with a cruising speed of 21.6 kilometers per hour and a top speed of only 32.4 kilometers per hour. This was a severe disadvantage if the mech attempted to fight in open country, something for only the foolish or desperate, but offset by the fact that fighting in the close confines of a Star League city left little room to maneuver anyways, and the UrbanMech's low profile made it difficult to target. Thus, the mech was primarily used for fighting guerrillas and other light mechs in an urban environment, an arena where it also achieved some success fighting medium or even heavy mechs. Standard tactics for an UrbanMech lance was to split up into its constituent parts and occupy various buildings in order to snipe the enemy before falling back to the next defensive line. Large numbers of UrbanMechs were produced by Orgus Industries from 2675 until the destruction of their assembly lines. The UrbanMech re-entered production at the Beetlejuice facility of Hellspawn Industries during the Jihad, and continued to be manufactured up through 3149. As such, UrbanMechs could be found in all of the armies of the successor states. However, most military leaders saw the slow little mech as a liability, confining their stockpiles to garrison duty or stripping them of parts. This dismissive attitude towards the UrbanMech saved it from the ravages of the Succession Wars and ensured its continued use into the 31st century. The Capellan Confederation remained the largest and only user of UrbanMechs to actually deploy them for frontline duty, a result of the devastation of the Fourth Succession War and their desperation for any mech to replenish their losses. The Confederation Reserve Cavalry and Capellan Defense Force had the lion's share of UrbanMechs, followed by the Tikhonov Republican Guard and St. Ives Armored Cavalry. Outside the Confederation, the Federated Sons Capellan March Militia fielded the largest number of UrbanMechs, due to the fact that it was composed of large amounts of captured Capellan equipment. Its prominence within the Confederation meant the UrbanMech was among those mechs within the CCAF to receive upgrades following the recovery of lost tech. The other states followed suit, with much less priority over improving other mechs. Despite this, the sheer cost necessity to replace the UrbanMech's engine and increase its top speed meant that even the Confederation limited their refit packages to improving the weapons and armor only. At some point, the common mech earned a cocktail in its name. A testament to the desperation of the Word of Blake Jihad, Hellspawn Industries would reactivate a shuttered production facility on Beetlejuice to produce the UrbanMech alongside primitive retro-tech designs for material-starved Capellan garrison forces. This plant would maintain production of the UrbanMech in a steadily increasing volume of configurations through the Dark Age era, as the CCAF secretly expanded before it waged war against the Republic of the Sphere. Rather than dramatic and expensive enhancements, Hellspawn's new variants retain the venerable design's low ground speed urban combat focus that can be applied as refits as readily as new production. Weapons and equipment. The UrbanMech packs a powerful punch for its size. The standard version carries the Imperator B AC-10 in its right arm and a Harman light small laser in the left arm for suppressing infantry, as well as a backup weapon. With these two weapons, the UrbanMech can constantly harass, or if piloted by an experienced enough mech warrior, down mechs up to twice its own size. A single ton of ammo for the autocannon, located in the right torso, leaves little endurance for a prolonged fight, though it fits perfectly with the hit-and-run nature of the mech. One way or another, most observers agree the UrbanMech is good for about 2 minutes of combat. Variants. The UMR-50. This was a variant without arms. The idea was to give the mech a smaller silhouette in combat. However, the drawbacks of having no arms turned out to be greater than any benefits, and this particular variant is generally regarded as a failure. Only very few units of this subvariant survived into 3025. The UM-R60L. Generally associated with the Capellan Confederation, who have modified a few of their UrbanMechs in this fashion, the R60L is an upgrade to make the UrbanMech twice as deadly as the R60 version. The R60L sacrifices 2 tons of armor, allowing it to replace the Imperator B AC-10 with an Imperator Zeta AC-20 that is capable of downing most light mechs and severely damaging most medium mechs in a single salvo. Besides the thinner armor, this modification comes with a very limited ammunition supply, which made it unpopular. The UM-R63. This is the official upgrade kit for the Capellan Confederation's UrbanMechs, distributed for field modification since before 3050. It replaces the AC-10 with a Mydron XL LBX AC-10 version and retains the small laser, but adds a Magna 200P small pulse laser. The UM-R68. Eschewing the autocannon, the Draconis Combine variant carries an MRM-30 with 2 tons of ammo, while still carrying the lasers of the R63 variant. The added damage potential proved a nasty surprise to Clan Ghost Bear during the Combine Ghost Bear War. UM-R69. The Free Worlds League variant upgrades the autocannon to a UAC-10, and the laser to an ER small laser. This is all made possible by upgrading to 5 tons of ferrofibrous armor and the removal of 1 single heatsink. While the Ultra-class autocannon provides superior firepower, it can also eat through the single ton of ammunition at an alarming rate. The UM-R70. The Federated Suns R70 model is an upgrade that has greater potential than the R63 by using ferrofibrous armor and mounting a rotary autocannon 5, fed by 2 tons of ammunition. For backup weapons, it carries an ER medium laser and ER small laser. The UM-R80. This variant carries a snub-nose PPC, small pulse laser, tag, Beagle active probe, and Guardian ECM suite. It retains the small laser of the standard UrbanMech as well. Improved jump jets help the UrbanMech move around the city it defends more effectively. The UM-A4. This variant of the UrbanMech replaces the standard weaponry with an Arrow 4 missile launcher and ER medium laser. It requires an endosteel chassis and a small cockpit to provide room, and the UrbanMech can only carry 10 rounds for the Arrow system. Despite these limitations, it is still a decent fire support unit. Notably, it can be used to launch nuclear-tipped Arrow 4 missiles. The UM-R90 Suburban Mech. This redesign was created by Hans Dabian as a way to reduce the power of Michael Hasek-Dabian by fixing AFFS supply lines. The Suburban Mech is visually identical to an Urban Mech, but has a larger engine and allows it to reach 54 km per hour. The autocannon is replaced with a single PPC and 2 medium lasers. The small laser remains in place, but jump range has been increased to 90 meters. 13 single heat sinks struggled to dissipate the heat of an alpha strike. The UM-R93. First appearing in 3130, this Capellan Confederation Dark Age era upgrade of the UrbanMech carries a plasma rifle, ER medium laser, and ER small laser. Additionally, it carries 12 tons of hardened armor, which, while making it as tough as many medium mechs, reduces its already slow speed even further. The UM-R96. Another field refit developed by Chronic Tinker Njord-Wing in 3149. The R96 is an evolution of the R80, with features of Wing's R93 refit. The R80's snub-nose PPC serves as the R96's main weapon, supported by a small X-pulse laser, reducing its logistical needs. The weight saved also allows the use of the R93's hardened armor shell for enhanced protection at the cost of speed. This is partially offset with the addition of 3 improved jump jets, giving the new model a 90-meter range. The R100 Suburban Mech, a variant proposed during the clan invasion, but ultimately never put into production because of high costs to the clan invasion. This Suburban Mech would have used a 120 rated engine to reach a running speed of 64 kilometers per hour and power 4 jump jets. 10 double heat sinks were to be installed, and the PPC would be swapped for an extended range model, but the rest of the weaponry matched the R90 variant. 6.5 tons of armor would be carried. And finally, the R27. This model drops a heatsink and all weapons from the R60. In their place are 3 SRM-6s in the arms, benefiting from actuator enhancement. The 3 tons of reloads are protected with case. Personal notes. I personally actually quite like the UrbanMech. I realize that's not a terribly unpopular opinion, given how popular the UrbanMech is in most of the community, but I rather like it because while it is, by almost every definition, one of the worst designs that could be made, on paper, it really does have its place. I've fought a match or two with the UrbanMechs before, and as long as you know what you're doing with them and you position them well, they really can do some damage. After all, the UrbanMech might be laughable to some, but it's pretty hard to laugh when an UrbanMech jumps over top of a 2-story building behind you and shoots your heavy mech in the back, blowing up your core in a single shot. Anyway, that concludes today's reading, and thank you for listening to my voice.